Welcome to everyone. Today we have to discuss our next chapter, the chapter P block elements of 12th chemistry. And in this chapter we have to discuss group number 15, group number 16, group number 17 and group number 18. Means last four groups from 15 to 18 we have to discuss in this chapter. So first of all we have to know that which element is known as p block element. So you already studied in your 11th class that p block elements are those in which last electron enters in p subshell, in which last electron enter in p subshell. So those elements in which the last electron enter in p subshell is known as p block elements. Clear? Now we have a lot of examples of p block element, a lot of examples which I don't want to discuss here because you're already familiar with all those examples. So we just have to discuss here group number 15, which is known as the nitrogen family. So first of all I have written something here regarding group number 15, like it's the element. Here is the name of the element. Symbol, this is the symbol of element. Atomic number, here is the atomic number with electronic configuration. Once you have to remember the electronic configuration of each and every element of these chapter p block element, because in examination there can be a question from electronic configuration also. So you must remember the electronic configuration. So first of all it's the nitrogen, symbol is N, atomic number is 7 and electronic configuration is what? It's 2s2 2p3. I'm just giving the valence electronic configuration. So remember the valence electronic configuration of group number 15 is ns2 and np3. It's for group number 15. So for nitrogen it's 2s2 2p3. Phosphorus atomic number 15. Here is electronic configuration. Neon 10, up to neon it is same, then it's 3s2 and 3p3. For arsenic having the atomic number 33, the electronic configuration is argon 18, it's 3d10 4s2 and 4p3. Now it's antimony and the symbol is Sb, antimony. Here is the atomic number 51 with the electronic configuration. It's krypton 36. Here is 4d10 5s2 and 5p3. And this is the bismuth, Bi. Here is the atomic number 83 and electronic configuration xenon 54 4f14 5d10 6s2 and 6p3. So this is the basic part of any group, whether we are going to discuss group number 15, 16, 17 and 18. This is the basic part which we have to discuss for each and every group. Now we have our next topic is atomic and physical properties. We have to discuss some properties of group number 15 elements. And there are three type of properties. One is atomic property, second is physical property, and third is chemical property. So here I combine the two properties, atomic property and physical property. So first property is what? It's the atomic radius. It's atomic radius. Now we know that there are total three type of radiuses. Mostly we discuss. One is covalent radius, second is metallic radius, and third one is the van der Waals radius. Now we know all the group 15 or say all the p block element form covalent bond. So we mostly discuss the covalent radius. So here is the data I also provided to you, but there is no need to memorize this data. There is no question in examination regarding this data. So no need to remember, no need to memorize this data. Okay, you just know, you just have to familiar with the concept which is going on there. So atomic radii. Now the concept is as you move from top to bottom, means down the group, shell increases, shell number increase हो जाएगा, due to which size increases, size increase हो जाएगा. So if we want to say, if we combine this thing, we can say that from top to bottom, shell number increases. If the shell number increases, then atomic radii increases. So this is the data. So from top to bottom, size increases. This is N, nitrogen 70 picometer, phosphorus 110 picometer, arsenic 121 picometer, antimony 141 picometer, and bismuth 148 picometer. So this is the data which is according to the concept. Now if we compare the radii of group number 14 as well as group number 16, means group number 14 is known as carbon family and group number 16 is known as oxygen family, then we know that from left to right nuclear charge increases but shell number remains same, due to which there is decrease in the size. So group number 14 elements have greater size than group number 15 and then group number 16. So this is the first property of group number 15 and comparison with the 14 and 16. Now I am going to talk about the second property, and it is known as ionization enthalpy. First of all, we have to familiar with the definition of ionization enthalpy, and I am going to repeat the definition once again. Ionization enthalpy is the minimum amount of energy. It's the minimum amount of energy which is required to remove an electron from isolated gaseous atom. This word is very important. The isolated gaseous atom means we have a gaseous atom which is isolated, and that energy, that minimum energy which is given to that atom so that one electron removed from that isolated gaseous atom, then that energy is known as ionization enthalpy. So if the size increases, the hold of nucleus on the valence electron decreases, due to which forces of attraction decreases and the electron can excite or say remove from that atom very easily. So we can say that if size increases, ionization enthalpy decreases. So this is the data. Nitrogen, the ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is maximum, then phosphorus, then decreases, arsenic, then more decreases for antimony, and least one is for bismuth. Why bismuth has the less ionization enthalpy? Because the size of bismuth is larger. And now if we compare this ionization enthalpy of group number 15 with group number 14 and group number 16, then we come to know that the size of group number 14 is more than that of size of group number 15. So ultimate the ionization enthalpy of group number 15 is more. But again, from the factor of size, we come to know that the size of group number 16 is less from the first property, but still the ionization enthalpy of group number 15 is more, and this is because of half-filled stable electronic configuration. Group number 15 has half-filled stable electronic configuration. So group number 15 have half-filled stable electronic configuration. How we can say that? Because there is 3 electron in p subshell, which is exactly half-filled, because total maximum number of electron in p subshell is 6. Here we have 3 electron. So group number 15 have stable electronic configuration, that is exactly half-filled. So the ionization enthalpy of group number 15 is more than group number 14 as well as more than group number 16. So this is the second property, ionization enthalpy. Now the third property of group number 15 is electron gain enthalpy. Once again I am going through the definition of electron gain enthalpy. So the definition of electron gain enthalpy is, it is the minimum amount of change in energy. Here is the change. It is the minimum amount of change in energy when an electron is added to isolated gaseous atom. Remember one thing, in the property ionization enthalpy, we have to remove one electron. For that we have to supply energy. Means ionization enthalpy is always endothermic. But here in electron gain enthalpy, I just saying that it is the change in energy. Means here both the processes, means we can give the energy or energy is released from the system when an extra electron is added to the isolated gases atom. Means electron gain enthalpy, it can be exothermic or it can be endothermic depending on the nature of the atom which is given to us. So for example, I generally explain the behavior, I generally explain the trend. As we move from top to bottom, size increases, the tendency to attract the electron decreases. Why the tendency to attract the electron decreases? Because the distance between the nucleus and the valence shell increases. So nucleus has a less effect on the valence shell, so the tendency to attract the electron decreases. So the electron gain enthalpy also decreases. So from top to bottom electron gain enthalpy decrease हो जाएगा. Now if we have to look at the data, here nitrogen, the electron gain enthalpy of nitrogen is plus 31. Plus stands for endo, and here phosphorus, it stands for minus 71. Here this plus or minus, this positive and negative does not indicate that it's the quantitative aspect को discuss नहीं करेगा. It will only describe that the process is exothermic or endothermic. Here only 31 kilojoule energy change means given, and here 71 kilojoule energy comes out. It means here in this case electron gain enthalpy increases. Here from nitrogen to phosphorus electron gain enthalpy increases. Okay, increases. Why? We can say that nitrogen have a very stable electronic configuration, due to which it does not want to accept the electron. So we have to supply some energy. It's plus. But here is phosphorus, which have a bigger size, having vacant 3d orbital. In phosphorus, vacant 3d orbital, so it can easily accept the electron. So here it is minus 71, and then further it is decrease. Okay, from nitrogen to phosphorus it increases. Why? नाइट्रोजन का साइज छोटा होता है, ठीक है, जिससे वो इलेक्ट्रॉन को एक्सेप्ट करना चाहता है बट कर नहीं पाएगा. रीजन? क्योंकि नाइट्रोजन की इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन स्टेबल होती है. फॉस्फोरस इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन तो फॉस्फोरस की भी स्टेबल है, बट उसके पास वेकेंट 3d ऑर्बिटल होते हैं. वेकेंट ऑर्बिटल्स होते हैं जिसमें वो इलेक्ट्रॉन को एक्सेप्ट कर सकता है और वो अपनी एनर्जी को रिलीज करेगा. ठीक है, उसके आगे हम जैसे जाएंगे एनर्जी और ज़्यादा रिलीज हो जाएगी. ओके, दिस इज द ट्रेंड फॉर इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन एंथैल्पी. एंड वन मोर प्रॉपर्टी आई डिस्कस इन दिस प्रॉपर्टी, दैट इज इलेक्ट्रॉन नेगेटिविटी. इट इज द टेंडेंसी ऑफ एन एटम टू अट्रैक्ट द शेयर्ड पेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन. ठीक है, it is the tendency of an atom to attract the shared pair electron, and it depends on the size of atom. If the size of atom is small, its electronegativity is high. So from top to bottom, as we move from top to bottom, I am going to write here size increases, so electronegativity decreases. Okay, this is the fourth property, that is electron gain enthalpy. Now the fourth property is melting point and boiling point. Okay, one thing I just want to explain, whenever we are going to talk about melting point or boiling point, we are going to dissociate the bond between two molecules. For example, we have a molecule A. Okay, if we are talking about melting point or boiling point of A, then we have to dissociate the forces of attraction between A. Okay, so whenever we are talking about melting point or boiling point, we have to dissociate the bond between two atomic species or two molecular species. For example, if we have to talk about melting point or boiling point of water, I am giving you a general example here. So this is water. Now another water molecule is also present here with the help of hydrogen bond. So whenever we are talk about melting point or boiling point, we have to break this bond. If this bond breaks, this water molecule separate from this water molecule, so that point is known as boiling point. And then further, if the further bonds are break, then that is known as melting point. Means the condition is same, means whenever we are talking about melting point and boiling point, we have to dissociate the bond between two molecules. Now both the melting point and boiling point increases from top to bottom, but melting point of bismuth and antimony decreases. Means what we can say that when we move from top to bottom, forces of attraction increases. We know that the forces of attraction depends on the size. If the size increases, forces of attraction increases, melting point, boiling point increases. So from top to bottom, melting point and boiling point both increases, but the melting point increases up to mid. Here is the data. You can observe from this data that melting point of nitrogen is 63 Kelvin, of phosphorus it's 317 Kelvin, for arsenic it's 1089 Kelvin. Now the melting point of antimony and bismuth according to general trend must be greater than this value, but it will decreases, and this decrement is because of inert pair effect. What is inert pair effect? Inert pair effect क्या होता है? Inert means not reactive. Pair means a couple. Means in antimony and bismuth there is a couple which is not reactive. Couple of which thing? Electrons. So inert pair effect is what? The pair of electrons, mostly it is the s electrons, the electrons present in the s subshell. It is a couple, it's a pair of s electron which does not participate for the bond formation process. Means the s electrons of antimony and bismuth does not participate in the bond formation. So only 3 electrons present which is reactive, not the further or the extra 2 electrons. So because of inert pair effect, both antimony and bismuth have low melting point. And now if we look at the boiling point, it's nitrogen 77, phosphorus 554, arsenic it's 888, antimony it's 1860, and bismuth it's 1837. So there is a slight difference between the boiling point of antimony and bismuth. Mostly the inert pair effect playing a vital role for the melting point. So we must keep this thing in our mind that whenever we are talking about the melting point of group number 17, we always have to discuss their inert pair effect. So this is our fourth property. Now we are going to talk about the fifth property, and that is catenation. And we know that what is catenation? It is a self-linking capacity of an atom. अपने आप जैसे एटम से ही कंबाइन करना विद द हेल्प ऑफ बॉन्ड्स, उसे हम बोलते हैं कैटिनेशन. फॉर एग्जांपल कार्बन इस दुनिया में, कार्बन इज दैट एलिमेंट हुज कैटिनेशन पावर इज मैक्सिमम, एज वी ऑलरेडी स्टडीड इन 11th class where we discuss a lot of organic compound in which carbon chain is formed, and there is no limit for that chain. So like group number 14, group number 15 also have a catenation power, but the catenation power of group number 15 is less than that of group number 14. We can say that there is no limit for carbon to form catenated compounds. But when we are talking about nitrogen, only 3 nitrogen atoms can join with each other, and the compound is known as hydrazoic acid. This is N3H, hydrazoic acid. And one more compound is NaN3. This is what? Sodium azide. Maximum nitrogen atom which can join with each other are 3. Similar, if we talk about the phosphorus, maximum 4 atoms of phosphorus can join with each other, like P4. This is the phosphorus. means group number 15 elements have a lesser tendency to form catenated compounds, catenated substances as compared to group number 14. And what is the reason behind this? The reason behind this is bond energy. Look at the data. Here carbon-carbon bond energy is 355.3 kilojoule per mole. Okay, it's 355.3 kilojoule per mole. For nitrogen NN bond, it's 163.8 kilojoule per mole. For phosphorus 201.6 kilojoule per mole, and for arsenic it's 147.4 kilojoule per mole. Means carbon has a maximum tendency to form catenated compound. After carbon there is phosphorus, not this nitrogen. Why? The reason is the lone pair present on the nitrogen. As we know that the size of nitrogen is less, and there are two lone pair are also present. So these lone pair repel each other. Due to this bond weaks and the energy decreases. Now we compare for phosphorus, the same condition also for phosphorus, but we know that the size of phosphorus is somewhat greater than nitrogen. So the repulsion between these lone pairs is less. So the bond energy increases. And now we compare for arsenic. We know that generally the size of arsenic is very much high. So this bond automatically greater in size. So the bond energy decreases. So we can say that the catenation of group number 13 is more than, group number 14 is more than group number 15. And if we compare in between group number 15, we can say that the catenation power of phosphorus is greater than the catenation power of nitrogen, and it will depend on the factor, that is bond energy. Now the property number 6, and that is allotropy. Allotropy means one substance is existing in more than one form. Allotropic form means one substance is existing in more than one form, that is known as allotropic, or say allotropic forms. Now from group number 15 we come to know that the nitrogen and bismuth, the first and the last element, all they have no allotropic forms, but all the other atoms have allotropic form. For example, phosphorus exists in white, red and black, and it will depend on the bond angle, we will discuss in further classes. Arsenic and antimony, these two exist in two different allotropic forms, yellow and gray. So you just only have to keep this thing in your mind. And now the last property, the last physical and atomic property is density. This is the example of physical property. The density of group number 15 member increases from top to bottom, and the simple criteria, and for to explain this, I have this data in front of me. And the atomic size, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Here we know that the density of nitrogen is less, and as you move from top to bottom the density decreases. This is because density means mass over volume. Okay, as we move from top to bottom, mass increases. And now what we have to say about volume, we know that atomic radii also increases, size is also increases. But look at this data, the increment in the size is not so high. Here it's 70 to 110, there is a difference of 40 picometer. Then it's 110 to 121, here is only 11 picometer. Here is 121 to 141, 20 picometer. And then 141 to 148, only 7 picometer. So this increment is not constant. Okay, there is not so much high increment in the volume, or say a high increment in the size. So mass increases continuously, but there is also increase in volume, but volume increases very small, due to which the factor mass play a vital role for the density. So mass increases, density also increases. So from here we can say that from top to bottom the density of group number 15 increases. So in the next we discuss the chemical properties.